another video on toasting this cheap rice. Oh yeah, my friend says I'm supposed to say like and subscribe if you like this video. There will be more, very similar, and other things as well. So I did a video, a limited budget, limited ingredients type of video, kind of getting the best out of the cheaper food that you can buy from the supermarket. Price of food's gone up. So it's a case of we just have to work a little bit harder to get kind of flavour and taste from things. So what my original thought was that what we could do is we could, this is the cheap supermarket rice. It's about, I think about 40 odd pence per kilogram, which is for next to nothing. It's okay. It doesn't cook evenly. So sometimes some of the bits of rice can be overcooked, some of the bits of rice can be undercooked. But it's 40p for a kilo of rice, which is cheap. So, but we need to kind of, so when we're on a bit of a budget, we kind of need to work a little bit hard to kind of get the flavour in. And my thoughts was that what we could do is we could toast the rice and then kind of introduce a bit more flavour into it. However, I toasted the rice and what we call it, and turned it into a risotto. And what happened was, it just, I think because of the heat in the rice, I think it kind of cracked the grains, the kernels, and and then they just kind of flat smashed to bits when I was making the risotto. So it turned into rice porridge. But I kind of thought that maybe it was the agitating of the rice as I was cooking it that was the problem. So I thought, well, I'll have another go at that, and what I'll do is I'll make a dish where I don't stir the rice, so we make like a pilaf. So I've got some things. I've got some chicken out the freezer that's been in there for a little bit too long, and then I've got some stock to use up. Now this is homemade stock. Well, it's not actually stock. It was the cooking juices from some chicken, and it's got some wine in there. But what we'll do is I'll do the recipe as if I was using chicken stock cubes. So these are cheap and they're full of flavour. You kind of go, oh, they're just all really salty, and they kind of go, well, no, there's loads of flavour in those. And if we use these as a seasoning rather than just a stock cube, and up the amount of stock cubes that we put in things, we get like a good flavour out of those. So I'm toasting the rice. You just got to keep an eye on it. It's starting to smoke a little bit, but you can see that the rice is getting a bit of colour. That's not much, not going to add much flavour to it, but it's going to add some flavour. And when we're cooking, it's generally not one little thing that we do that makes a difference. It's 10 little things that we do that make a difference with cooking. So toasting the rice, putting an extra chicken stock cube in, a little bit of pepper, colouring the chicken to get like a flavour, using the fat from the chicken to as the oil in the dish, and caramelising the skin and kind of crisping it up. All these little things make a difference. So I'm toasting the rice on the back. We've got 4 chicken thighs, which I suppose we can call it 4 portions then, can't we? Some are a little bit smaller, but that's 4 portions. So that's chicken thighs and the bone in as well, so we'll get the flavour from the bones. I'm just frying them off, and I'm used the skin to as the oil. So, but their thighs are a little bit tougher than breasts, so it's a case of you just need to cook them just that little bit longer. So I'm frying them, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add. We'll keep it simple. So it's going to be 200 grams worth of carrots, and they're just the wonky ones from the supermarket. So they were 39p a kilo, although they were reduced. So I managed to pick them up for 28 pence a kilo, which is even better. And then 200 grams worth of onions, just cheap small onions. Obviously the smaller ones are hard to cut up, but they are cheaper. So you kind of pick your poison in life. Do you want something that's a little bit cheaper and you'll have to work a little bit harder, or do you want ease? The ease would be just to go out and buy chopped onions, wouldn't it? But we're not going to do that. We're going to buy the cheapest onions we can get our hands on, and we're going to slice them, chop them ourselves. So that's that. 200 grams of onions, 200 grams of carrots, and then we'll put in 200 grams worth of peas later on when we're cooking everything else. So those vegetables just need to sweat down slightly. So I'm just getting everything ready. So I'm going to go It's Saturday and I'm going to go swimming. So I thought what I'll do is I'll just get everything ready and up to a stage of when I can just come in. What I just need to do is I just need to add the stock to the pan, because the vegetables and the chicken will be kind of like almost kind of cooked. Bring that up to the boil, add the rice, add a bit of turmeric, and then bang it in the oven for 20 minutes, half an hour, and it'll be ready kind of quite quickly when I come home. But to toast the rice when I get home, and to chop the vegetables, and to fry the vegetables and fry the chicken when I get home, but it's going to add like 45 minutes to or longer than before I get something to eat. And when I come home from swimming, like with any form of exercise, I'm generally absolutely starving. So get everything together, sweat those vegetables off, toast this rice a little bit more, but not too much because it's looking like it might just start to scorch. And then when I come home, what we'll do is I'll add the stock. Probably going to be about, it's going to be 400 grams worth of rice that's in there. So there will be, normally I kind of say, well, it's double the amount of rice, double the amount of water to rice. It's not, like I did this last time. I need to change the video, because I thought I said I put 800 millilitres of water in, and it wasn't. I ended up adding another 300 millilitres. So it's going to be about 1.3 litres worth of water stroke stock that we're putting in it. But anyway, so sweat those down, get a bit of colour, get all those juicy bits, crispy bits off the bottom of that pan, and then we're going to cook all that in there. I could have done this like a proper one pot meal and toasted the rice in this container, taken the rice out, and then kind of fried everything, but it's a case of doing two things at once. I think that rice is not ready. Yeah, I don't want to do that rice anymore. So we'll turn the rice off. Just back one, that's the back one, and there we go. So they'll sweat down a little bit more, and then it'll be ready for when I come home from swimming, and I can just put everything together and put it in the oven for 20 minutes, half an hour. So I just put a bit of heat underneath it just to get things cooking, and then I'm just going to pull the chicken out for a second, so I want the chicken on top, and then we're going to put in, what are we going to put in? We're going to put in a teaspoon of turmeric. Now let's put the rice in first. So rice in first, give that mix around. See, not creating any washing up there because that's nice and clean. Move the rice around in it, so if the rice will be coated at any of that fat that's there. And then we want a teaspoon of turmeric, optional. Some cardamom pods would be really nice. Anything that you've got. Some herbs would be fine, but I just can't be bothered going into the garden and picking some herbs. So that's all mixed around, and then we want, can I get away without measuring this? Normally on milk containers there are some, there we go, there are some markings up the side so we can see. So I need just a bit over a litre if I can make that out. It's supposed to be a short video this, it's not. No, that looks about, this one looks, it's about 1.2 litres, so that and there. Like that. Knock that rice down. I'll just taste the stock and see if we need to add any stock cubes to it. I don't think so, but I reckon, I'm using stock, homemade stock, but if you're using chicken stock cubes, I reckon 3. And I would recommend using chicken stock cubes rather than using vegetable stock cubes, unless you're doing this vegetarian. My problem with vegetable stock cubes is they end up tasting of vegetables, whereas chicken stock cubes are kind of quite neutral in kind of flavour. They're a little bit chickeny, but not too much. No, it's plenty of what we call it. There's plenty of salt in there. Plenty. It's seasoned enough, so that'll be fine. Looks like a lot of water, but I'm sure it won't be. So then what we'll do is we'll bring it up to, we'll put the chicken back in now actually. No, we won't. what we'll do is we'll bring it up to temperature. We'll just put the lid on that way for a second. Bring it up to temperature. We'll put the peas in, stir it around, then put the chicken in, then put the lid on. That's what we'll do. So we'll just give it 2 or 3 minutes just to heat up the stock, and then we'll put the peas in. Right, so we're just about coming up to temperature. Looks like this. See, the rice is swelled, so it looks like this. Nah, there's the right amount of liquid in there. So peas in, which will cool it down a little bit, but that'll be fine. But I didn't want to put them in before this point, because what will happen is they will overcook, and I want them nice and green and fresh. It's not that much chicken here, but it'll be fine for what we're doing. Maybe 4 chicken legs, whole chicken legs would have been nicer. And then then lid on. Just wipe that. Lid on, and then temperature right down, and then we'll leave it for we'll cook it for 20 minutes, and then we'll have a look. But I won't have it on this gas at the front. I'll put it on the gas at the back, and then you'll be able to see how dirty my cooker is. No, it's not that bad. It's just a little bit of a stain. That's fine. So on the back, low temperature. And then it'll 20 minutes we'll have a look at it, and that'll probably ready in about half an hour. But all we really need to do is just cook the rice, and it looks like it's going to hold together, fingers crossed. Right, so 25 minutes and we'll look like we're ready. So the rice looks like it's mostly held together. Just have a look at that. Mostly held together. I think the toasting it just makes it break up, so those bits are broken up. So toasting the rice when it was a better quality rice kind of worked, but when it's a cheaper rice, it wants to break up, which is it don't look like it's broken up too much. So you can do it if we're going to do it like a pilaf, but toasting it, the cheap rice, breaks it up, unfortunately. But yeah, so it's just made it explode, which is fine. It just doesn't work in a risotto. It kind of works as in a pilaf. So, but you live and learn. So you kind of see through this cheap rice that even though some bits have overcooked and some bits have undercooked, so it's just, I don't know why it does that. I just think it's probably down to it just being low grade rice, but they look like they're almost raw. And then that there, which is next to it, is cooked. So I don't understand. It might just be a low grade rice that doesn't. I don't know how they grade rice, but I presume that they do grade rice because there's different qualities of rice that you can buy, and certainly some rices are more robust. So like a risotto rices are a lot more robust than long grains. You see, those have almost gone to mush. So we can't toast the rice if we're using cheap rice, even in a pilaf. But not to worry. We learn, don't we? And that's kind of it. That's important that we've learned something. If I hadn't learned anything, then it would have been not a success. But I've learned something, so therefore it's a success. I'm going to eat it. It's going to be nice. It's just not going to be exactly how I wanted it. But not to worry.